Namaste, Hari Om, and a warm welcome to everybody once more on this Global Festival of Yoga, the second edition, where we are trying to bring in speakers from different backgrounds to talk on healing, well-being, wisdom, combining it with Ayurveda, everything that helps us to live healthier, better, happier lives. So today we have with us two wonderful speakers from different cultures. So one that we have already met earlier on in our previous edition of the Global Festival of Yoga. So we have Srimati Rahila or Rahila Sujatha Santhanam ji. I request her to please come on screen. And the other speaker that we have is Mrs. Françoise Barkat from France, now living in Morocco. And the topic that we are going to be having a discussion with in a bilingual manner is living in harmony. But before we go on with that, I'd love to introduce you to Rahiji, whom, as we fondly refer to her. She has been Françoise ji's teacher, friend, philosopher, and guide on her yoga journey. She's a psychologist and a practicing yoga therapist, as well as a wellness consultant by profession. But she took her first steps in yoga at the sweet age of 16 from the Vivekananda Kendra in Kanyakumari. She was very fortunate to have done her pre-doctoral research work and her teacher training from the Krishnamacharya Yoga Mandiram under the guidance of Sri Desikachar himself. A very popular and loved teacher, psychologist, and yoga therapist, she has worked with creating therapy modalities for differently abled children. Her work has also focused on working with women, sports people, dancers, as well as in the army milieu. And that takes our journey long back, where we met several years ago and caught up very recently as the two streams of the two streams of life were brought together again on the platform of yoga psychology. Very true to her name, Rahila Rahiji. The name Rahila, which in Arabic means the one who travels, shows the way as a leader, etc. Rahiji has traveled extensively at home and across the globe before the pandemic grounded us all. And she gave talks, conducted workshops, teacher training programs, or YTTs for yoga teachers in different parts of the world. As a world traveler, she's also passionate about bringing people together from various cultures to taste the richness, beauty, and depth of the Indian civilization by being part of an integral part of the eco-spiritual tourism. So with these few words, Rahiji, I'd love to welcome you on screen and please introduce Françoise ji to all our participants and then look forward to this very enriching conversation.
Namaskaram and thank you, Anuradha. It's a pleasure to be on the Indica Yoga platform again and a greater pleasure to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Françoise Barkat. Before that, just a few, gratitude to my teachers, the lineage of the teachers, the Parampara. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. So Françoise and I go back about 20 years. And I remember Françoise coming in to learn yoga. And she came to one of the teachers' training that I was conducting in Bangalore. And something about her, right from day one, I just connected to her. And then in these 20 years, I have seen how she has evolved from being a curious practitioner of yoga to somebody who has made yoga philosophy her lifestyle, and how she has enriched her understanding of the yoga philosophy, which is just in books, by making it her own lived experience, by traveling the length and breadth of India. She has gone with groups to India. She's gone on her own, right from Kanyakumari to the Himalayas. She has done some great things. And The whole idea for her was to absorb the culture. She was always curious to know, what is this culture that birthed yoga? Who are these people? What is it like to be amidst them? So, very open minded. Please understand, she's a French woman, born into a Christian family, married an Algerian, wonderful man, Nabil, and lives in Morocco. And here she comes into a Vedic culture, and which fascinates her. So, somewhere, all strands that have come together in Francoise, and that's really fascinating. And she went back to Morocco. Of course, she did further training, etc., and got herself certified from the Yoga Alliance to be a trained teacher, to take yoga teachers training. So ever since, she has been conducting teacher training in Morocco every single year, and she's got a legion of students who are so grateful to her. And the thing that marks her as very different is she just does not sit with asana and anatomy and pranayama. She ensures that the students understand the philosophy. So there she is with Hatha Yoga Pradipika, she's with Bhagavad Gita and anything else, Ayurveda, holistic living, all this forms part of a teacher's training. And in that context, this year, we had the pleasure of having you and Vinay coming in to deepen her search to give more to her students. Françoise has a nursing background, so she's in the space of healing and wellness. She already knows a lot, but she moved into this space of yoga because she felt it is not just the body, there's much more that needs to be understood, that needs healing, if at all we are going to become whole and complete. So my welcome to my dear friend and colleague, Françoise. I wish she will come on. She's come on. Wonderful. And I hand over the mic back to you, figuratively, Anuradha, to have Françoise talk to us.
Yes, Françoise, bon après-midi to you, à toi. Tu veux... Non, il faut que tu mettes ton audio. C'est encore muted, voilà.
Yes. Okay.
Tu veux dire quelques mots? Would you like to just reply to Rahila?
I want to thank Rai for that beautiful description. But, je parle en français peut-être, on a dit que je parlais en français. Et je voudrais vraiment remercier Indica Yoga de nous accueillir aujourd'hui et de nous donner la parole, de présenter le Maroc et tout ce qu'on a pu faire au Maroc avec Rai. Et toutes ces merveilleuses choses que nous faisons ensemble, avec vous aussi, Anou et Vinay. Et vraiment, vous remercier, avant tout, vous offrir notre gratitude pour tout ce que vous faites pour donner une vraie compréhension du yoga, ce qu'on n'a pas toujours forcément en Occident. C'est vraiment important le travail que vous faites, vraiment. Voilà ce que je voudrais vous dire d'abord.
Merci. Just to translate this for our audience. So Françoise just said thank you very much to Indica Yoga, also for the wonderful work that Indica Yoga is doing to bring in the profound ideas of the yogic traditions to different people from different parts of the world. And also she thanked Rahiji for her warm welcome. And she's also saying that she would like to basically talk about her experience of bringing yoga to Morocco and what that has brought to her in her life. And basically a lot of gratitude for the possibility of engaging with yoga and taking it deeper with all of us. So in short, yes. So I'd like to start by requesting Rahiji to just tell us a little bit about your personal journey with yoga and what made you really reach out to a very foreign culture in Morocco. It's mainly predominant in Islamic culture. And I know you've been to Turkey. So how did you reach these different shores and sow the seeds, as we will also see literally down the line, of the Vedic culture, the yoga, the universality of it? Yeah. Over to you.
So I don't know, around about the age of 16, when I just finished school, and you have a lot of time, few months before you enter college, and I saw this little advertisement in the paper saying Vivekananda Yoga Kendra offers Yoga Shiksha Shibir. And I just spoke to my parents. And in those days, you don't allow your daughters to travel all by themselves. So I had to take a train to Tirunelveli, take a bus from there to Vivekananda Kendra. And that is so fresh in my memory. And I had the fortune of having Sri Nagendra ji and Sri Nagratna ji as the teachers, so the chief teachers who conducted the whole shibir. So it was fascinating. And that, the interest that sparked in me was just amazing. And I was getting into psychology. So somehow all this came together. And I was teaching for Vivekananda Kendra to hostel students in Stella Maris and in other colleges. And then this whole thing started working on me, that how do we use yoga as a therapy? Because in the 1970s, the yoga scene was not what it is now. It was still in a very nascent stage as far as therapy is concerned. So I was searching around, and the universe literally dropped a parcel on my, lap and said, go to Krishnamacharya Yoga Mandiram. And there the journey started as a research scholar. And I was so blessed and really honored to have learned under Sri Deshikacha. I mean, I can never ever thank him enough for the kind of time he would grab from his busy schedule just to be with this young yoga scholar who wanted to know so much. So the journey started that way. And then just as I was getting into PhD, I got married to an army officer, and that ended everything because those days there was no internet, no mobile phone, nothing. You just packed your bags and moved. And unfortunately or fortunately, it was in the infantry. So every 1.5 years, 2 years, I was on the move. But that was a great learning. What I didn't get in formal education in yoga, it came through all the experiences that happened in the army life. And I would come back to the mandiram every time on the annual leave, and sir would say, okay, this is there, that is there, familiarize yourself with this, update. So it was nice, organic, but not the way I wanted, but then that's life. And then I met, I had gone to Singapore to teach, and Malaysia, had friends there, and then went to States. And it was beautiful because wherever I went, I found the country was never alien. There was something so beautiful in each country. And there was a sense of openness and a welcome that happened. And it was so easy to talk to people about yoga because it looked like there was a thirst and a hunger to see the world a little differently. I think people were tired of materialism, of competitiveness, of, this greed that had come in where we were literally destroying the earth. We are seeing all that now, and we are reaping all the fallout of what we have done. So to that extent, it was easy to connect to people, easy to talk to them. So it was interesting. And in the meantime, Françoise happened, and then all this training happened, and we traveled together in India. I'll never forget her wearing her sari and mallipu in her hair and kumkumam, and coming to all the temples possible. And I would watch it. The psychologist in me, so you just can't get over that. You have this tendency to watch people. And I would see the respect she would have for the space that she entered. And the understanding that there is an energy working here, and it cannot enter your head through your logic. You need to receive it in stillness and quietness. And I could see that happening, and it was very beautiful. And she was a high Vata person, very much a perfectionist. And over the years, I've seen how she has mellowed. And all this energy she's taken. And now that she's an organic gardener and into permaculture, working with the earth, working with the 5 elements, really have worked on her in a way. So there was a disconnect with Françoise for some time. And then one day she caught up with me, and then she said, why don't you come to Morocco and be the chief instructor? I said, are you crazy? I mean, Morocco, it's like, I don't know. I know it's in Africa, North Africa, but what? Isn't it a very Islamic country? And how will they accept a woman coming with bindi and sari? And she said, you just come. And since I know Françoise so well, and I know that she has been teaching, and of course she was having the struggles also teaching, I said, okay, I'll come. I love traveling, especially if it's anything to do with yoga, definitely. And to meet people. I love meeting people, seeing different cultures. So this gave an opportunity. So that's how it started, and it went for 2-3 years. Then 1 year we said nothing. When she was creating the shala, we said, with whatever little money we have made, let's go somewhere. So we went to Turkey, and my students are there in Turkey also. And that's how the Turkey happened. And everything was going so beautifully till Corona decided, stop, Swadhyaya, be quiet and do what you need to do. So that is how the journey was. It was so fascinating. It was so beautiful.
Fantastic. I think, thank you for sharing about what your name really epitomizes, as I tried to say in your introduction, the Rahila or Rahila. And it means one who travels. So you're not just one who travels the external worlds, but also the internal worlds. So I think it's beautiful. And also then you share your wisdom, because all that is there. And we then realize, this whole Namakarana business in the Indian
Culture. Yes.
culture,
Yes.
that where you need to, the name you give also allows a certain journey to unfold itself for that particular person. I think it's very, very, you've lived up to the name in a very, very beautiful manner. And we've all been benefited by it. So,
Thank you.
Françoise, à toi. So, over to you. Voudrais-tu, s'il te plaît, nous expliquer, partager avec nous un peu de ton voyage personnel avec le yoga, ton rencontre avec Raidi, tes voyages en Inde?
Oh my God.
So Raidi, I've just requested Françoise if she could share with us
Her
journey with yoga, her travels to India, encountering of yoga, and what it has done for her.
Yeah.
And as Raiji also mentioned, it has transformed itself in different ways with the work she has done with the earth.
Yeah.
So we'd love to hear a little bit of that journey from you. On aimerait bien entendre cette histoire de toi.
Alors, je vous la raconte en français et tu traduis en anglais.
Tu sais, je vois qu'il n'y a pas trop de français ici. Maintenant, il y a des personnes, mais pas beaucoup. Alors, toi, tu choisis. Je te laisse choisir comment tu veux le faire, comme tu veux le faire, en fait.
Ok. So, comment est-ce que j'ai commencé? Je pense que j'ai commencé mon voyage spirituel assez tôt. Quand j'étais vraiment enfant, j'étais vraiment intéressée par tout ce qui était la vie des saints. Je lisais tout ce qu'il y avait à la bibliothèque sur les gens évolués spirituellement. Et puis, bon, voilà, la vie a continué. J'ai commencé à entendre parler du yoga.
Oui, je vais t'interrompre peut-être avec chaque deux phrases. Si tu peux me laisser te traduire, ça va être simple. Aussi pour les participants, parce que comme ça, ils ont un peu de temps pour... Voilà. So she said that she started her journey, and she loved anything to do with design, to drawing, art, and that's why her place is also named Kalananda. She's named her place in Morocco, Kalananda, which is the joy of art. That's the name of her yoga studio. Oui, tu veux continuer.
Yes, I can continue in English if you prefer. It will be better for everybody, I think so. So, with my poor English, but I will do the best.
Good, don't worry.
Yes, so I heard first the name yoga. I was 20 years old, but I don't follow that way at that time. And I study nursing for my first profession. And I'm also just looked at, no, it's not the way to heal people. So in the same time, I learned a lot of holistic method to heal people. So naturopathy, Reiki, Shiatsu, all that I can access in France. And so I also moved from France at the age of 20 to, we call it French West Indies. So this is Guadeloupe. And Guadeloupe is a French island, but there is a lot of Indian people there. They migrate, I think, in the beginning of the 20th siècle. So, yes, and there is a lot of Indian...
Yeah, the 20th century, right.
And there is a lot of Indian people and the culture of Indian people also. So that is my first approach with the culture of India. And because people keep their culture there, they don't lose them. So I begin yoga for myself. I was a nurse, so I have a lot of back pain. So I begin a class with a teacher. And after 1 year, the teacher moved. There is no more class in Guadeloupe. So I decided to do it by myself. So every day I was doing my half an hour of yoga. And I am disciplined. Yes, I can do by myself. So every day I was doing, after working, I was doing my half hour of yoga. And after that, I decided to stop to be a nurse. And a master from India came and give some talk, and I was very interesting. So I decided to move to India to have a little, have more of information about yoga, and I meet Rai first. She first gave me the first teacher training I follow with Rai, and it was a very powerful experience. And I think 6 months after, I want to come back in India. Yes, I always feel very at home in India. I don't know, no problem. I go from north to south very often alone, and I never have any problem as a woman, as a French woman or Occidental woman. So very safe and very secure. And yes, I discovered the beauty of all the culture of India, the philosophy of yoga, and yes, I love India really. Yeah. So now, after living in West Indies, we decided to move to Morocco because my husband is from Algeria, but it's very difficult to live in Algeria now. So we decided to stay in Morocco because we have two children, and I want that my children I have some background about their culture also from that side. So we arrived here. I don't know. I think 14 years ago. Everything goes well. We don't have any problem to adapt. The children also, no problem. So I decided to begin yoga shala first. So I decided to open a yoga class, and everybody was telling me, you are totally crazy because you are in a Muslim country. Nobody will come to your class because they cannot follow yoga. You are absolutely crazy, and it was wrong. No, it was, people were very interested. I am in the south of Morocco, so no much yoga there, but we begin, and really the community is growing, and we do a lot of things together with Rai, a lot of workshop, a lot of seminary, EGRECTT. So yes, we are happy to work together.
So, Francoise,
Yeah.
it's a lovely journey, and I can just understand the whole process of what you must have gone through. When you first started teaching in Agadir,
Mm-hmm.
there was hardly anything there, as far as yoga is concerned. How did the students come to you? Did you have to go and wait there, or how did the students start coming to you?
So I tried to first. I did a first workshop. I don't know anybody in Agadir, and I say after my teacher training with you, yes, I have to practice. So I organized a workshop, and I have the I don't know the chance of the beginner because a lot of people, 10 people comes for the first workshop. So it was very good, and after that, I think it's here there is no, well, there was not Instagram, Facebook, all that was not already there, but just the people telling to another there is yes, and
Word of mouth, yeah.
yes. So no, it comes very easily. Well, of course, at the beginning, I have some class with no people, 0 people, but slowly, I don't give up, and slowly, the things come. So yes, and I think because I am a nurse, also people trust me because I have some background in the health, and so they trust me, and it helps me a lot for the yes.
So I just want to add in here, Anu, that when I first came to Morocco, I didn't know what to expect because I didn't know much about Morocco, except that, of course, it was in the northwest aspect of Africa, Mediterranean Sea, and all the geography, okay? And there's a monarchy there. And of course, it's almost 100% an Islamic country. So I didn't know what to expect there. And the first time I went to Morocco, I went on a wheelchair because just a few days before I got onto the plane, I fell down from a ladder and I hurt my knee so badly that the doctor said you may have to cancel the trip unless there's a physio there to take care of you. And as luck would have it, I think when the universe wants something, she will do everything for you. So I told Françoise, this is it. I don't know what I'm going to do. She said, there is a friend near my house who's a wonderful physiotherapist. Just get onto that plane and come. So I went by wheelchair, but when I got down in Casablanca, I held on to that porter's hand and I said, I'm walking out. I'm not going to go in a wheelchair. And I just went and kind of hugged Françoise there. And what I found was, first of all, I was not ready for the modernity of Morocco. Extremely modern space and excellent roads. And the women, I mean, the kind of clothing they were wearing would put any Paris ramp to shame. They were so stylish and so, independent and so empowered. So that was quite surprising to me. Then I realized I was holding ideas about Morocco simply because it's an Islamic country, which had nothing to do with the reality of Morocco. So something in me opened up. I felt more settled. Then when Françoise started the workshops, the first time I went there, I was hesitating to say things which would be very shastric and thing. And I just would turn to her and ask her, Françoise, can I include this? Because I do not want to talk to people without my background of being in Sanatan Dharam. If I do that, then I cannot carry this forward because yoga is from that culture and I'm very proud of that culture. So she said, just go ahead. And when I would talk to them and explain to them the openness of mind that they have there, that, I would use the word shocked me. And I remember the first workshop we did in that some Hilton hotel, something we did near your house, Francoise. There, I just chanted Om, and one of the participants, and she was in hijab, that's what, really melted my heart. She said, can you do this? I said, do what? Can you do the chanting what you did? They all sat down and for 15 minutes they chanted the Om together. And some of them had just tears pouring out down their eyes. And I could see that sense of joy and ecstasy in their face. And that is the first time I said, okay, Morocco is like India. It's another home for me. So it was a very, very beautiful moment for me to have my belief system shattered and for something very beautiful to be shown to me. That was very thing. Françoise, maybe you have some photos of.
Yes. I can show you the beautiful picture.
In the meanwhile, if I was just like the thoughts that came to me when you were speaking is also the fact that in the Indian culture, like we all chant the Om, we're very familiar with the Om. So at some level, we're also numb to the powerful impact it can have because we've banalized it so much in our consciousness. Absolutely. And so when I heard your sharing of the impact of the Om on a population that is not so familiar with it, it's not in the atmosphere, and it's something that they are doing and connecting to the sound for the first time. Yeah. It's quite astounding to hear of the impact that it had.
Super. Absolutely. So for me, this traveling, I think a part of the yoga space is to travel and to, meet people at their space. And then you have a whole lot of your belief system, getting broken and something new being born and, taking shape.
We absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I'd love to ask Françoise, what was your transformative experience when you stepped onto the Indian soil? What were your expectations? Quelles étaient tes attentes qui étaient cassées quand tu as visité l'Inde? So what were your ideas that were broken once you stepped on the Indian soil? And because one of the reasons we chose this topic also today is for the French community, it's the day of the Bastille. It's a very, very important day in France. So I thought it would be a beautiful idea to bring in a little more of this language, also to bring different cultures together and see how yoga really offers us, like many other contemplative traditions, but it's a very powerful tradition that offers us to discover commonalities of, roots that we all share as a human species, a human race. So I thought this would be a wonderful sharing. So yes, Françoise, si tu veux nous parler.
Je voulais I want to share a story about mantra also. One of my travel in India, I was in Pushkar and I learned the Gayatri mantra, and the the people who teach me told, tell me, so when you come back to Morocco, you will chant mantra with your students. I say, oh no, it's not possible because I cannot chant that. It will not. And I say, okay, I will try. And very surprisingly, every people ask for mantra every day. Every class they ask for mantra, and they were very happy to chant mantra. Of course, I give the translation in English to and in French for the people understood what they are chanting, but everybody here connect with the mantra and they love mantra, and I am very happy to give the understanding of mantra to the people here, not only to the mantra but to all the philosophy of yoga. And what was your question, Anu? Sorry, about what
Now, I was
I.
also asking you about your experience coming to India. So, just like Rahiji spoke about, shattering some of these beliefs you have or these preconceived biases and judgments we have about cultures. And I think a lot of the yoga tradition really invites us to look at our own biases and to let go so that we can live afresh with every
Yeah,
experience we have. So,
sometimes there is a.
some of your experiences of India, what were your expectations and what did
Mm,
your journey of yoga help you to uncover or break through?
sometimes there is a cut in the connection. Sorry. So um, I have no fear to go in India. My husband had, because he was already traveling in India. So the first time I came, it was in for Christmas, and I asked my family, "Can I move?" Because Christmas is a very important festival here in France. So I said, "Can I move?" Because the travel was during that part of time, and they all said, my husband and children, "Yes, yes, go, because you want to discover India, so go." And my husband told me, "I don't know what you are going to do there because there is nothing to. It's very. Uh, it's because he knows only New Delhi and the big city, so very very interesting to to visit. So I say, okay, but I want to see by myself. So I I don't really, I feel at home in India, and I don't have any judgment. I love the food because I am vegetarian. So yes, we can eat a lot of things. I love the clothes. Also, I always take Indian clothes. So no, really, I really feel at home when I am in India, like Rais at home in Morocco. So we have so much of conditioning in our head. People of Morocco are like this. People of India are like this. No, it's not like this. So if you go with an open mind and an open heart, there is no problem. We are very happy on the travel.
Yes, thank you. So, if I could just also ask you, because I know, and this is where we'd also like to connect this idea of yoga not just being what you do on the mat, but
Mm.
also yoga extending to life itself, and also connecting. It's yoga is nothing but connecting, and in a big way, connecting to Mother Nature as well. So, I know that both of you were instrumental in starting this greening project that you have this beautiful paradise behind you that we can see through your glass a little bit. So,
Yes,
would you like to share with us how your yoga journey,
yes.
very clear, your yoga journey helped you to also connect with the earth in a very profound manner? Just if I can add that the body in the Vedas, the body is referred to as the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Vedas, they also talk of Arya, the one who cultivates. So they're referring to the one who cultivates the inner soil. But you also are cultivating the physical earth there. So would you like to share, both of you, how you went about this beautiful project that you have in Morocco?
So before Françoise gives us the story, I just want to come in here, Françoise. I think the second time I went to Morocco, I'm not very sure now, she had a surprise birthday gift from her husband. So he told both of us, get into the car, I want to show you something. And he drove somewhere and very dramatically opened one kutti little red door. And he just said, Françoise, this is, for your yoga space, for your shala. So he had bought the land for her because he knew how passionate she was about, greening the earth and living that holistic life. When I saw the land, I didn't say anything. I was so taken aback. It was barren, burnt, nothing there, nothing, rock. And I said, how is Françoise going to make a yoga space here? I mean, but I didn't say anything because it's a husband gift to his wife. So I just smiled and said, oh, great, and everything. Then Françoise said, before you leave, I was leaving for Tamil New Year's Day. I wanted to get back home. And around about April 11th or something, we did a Bhumi Puja. So it so happened that Françoise had waters, the three great waters. She had a little Ganga Jal in a pot. Then she had in a bottle the Zemzem water from Mecca. And she had water from the Lourdes. So what we did was we had a lamp of Patanjali Aarti, to take the Aarti. Then we had Heart of Yoga by Sir. And then we had the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. So we put all that together. Then we took some dates. And because they don't have laddus and Mysore pak, so little dates here, there. We couldn't find any flowers. I said, Françoise, you can't do a puja without flowers. So somehow one nice little hibiscus showed itself on the way. So we plucked that. And we just sat, the three of us together, Nabil, Françoise, and myself. We closed our eyes and we thanked the ancestors and the Guru Parampara and the universe for giving us the space. And we chanted the Ganapati Stuti, and then we just chanted Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu and Loka Samasta. We sat and did that 21 times of chanting. And then we mixed the water, we sprinkled the water, and we said, may this earth bring forth beautiful things. Then I told Françoise and Nabil, now you both go to all the corners and stand in each corner, pour this water and visualize how you want the space to be. Talk to the universe. Just visualize. And whatever they visualize, today that space is like paradise on earth. I mean, it is green, it's bountiful and just zinging with prana. I'm just waiting to go back there. So, Françoise, maybe if you have some pictures of how it was before, yes, how it is now, you can show those pictures so people know what you did.
So I put them on the screen.
That went into it.
Oh, this is Patanjali. I will not show you all the picture because there is a lot. So just to visualize where is Morocco, because every time I travel in India and people are always very warmly ask you, where are you come from? Yes, it is the first question Indian people ask to us. So when I say Morocco, every people said me, oh, South Africa. No, Morocco is in the north of Africa, just very, very close to Europe. So, but we are in Africa. So that is the travel I did. I go quickly to go to the garden. So this is our first meeting in Casablanca.
Yes.
The first time Rai came and she was not on the wheelchair, as you can see. She just jumped out of the wheelchair. And so this is we were, you remember, right, in the Brashwa. It's to encounter some beautiful women who are working with the earth and making food, and they inspire me also to do the permaculture. So this is right with a woman in Morocco. So they are just I don't know what is some grain. They are trying to.
Françoise, I just want to talk to the audience about this. There's a scientist, a doctor called Madame Sharuf. So her daughter, Anu, you know her, Imain, who's now a yoga teacher.
Yes.
So her mother is a very well-respected scientist in Morocco. And what she did was she said the culture of Morocco has to be maintained. And she said the representation of Morocco is the argan tree. It's a beautiful gnarled tree which looks like it's holding so much of information. So she said the women of Morocco will be empowered to save that tree and cultivate. So she created cooperatives all around Morocco, wherein these women brought out the argan oil, the famous argan oil that now the beauty industry is going crazy about. Okay. And these women were taught new methods of extracting the oil. Otherwise, they would use one stone and a pestle and keep on hammering and extracting the oil. Very, very laborious and time consuming. And then she empowered these women to start their own organic gardening, to make their own produce, opened up bank accounts for them, which only they could access, not their husbands. Only they, so they became very empowered. Now, these women know no other language but Arabic. They don't even know French. But what I know was we were relating with each other so much. There is a language to the heart that transcends, words. And we were laughing and talking as if we knew each other. And that's what you're seeing here. And they're so independent, they're so empowered, and yet they respect their culture, their community, and the earth they live in so beautifully. So carry on, Françoise. I mean, they touch me.
So this is the first, all the things we do around yoga. So this was the first International Yoga Day.
Yes.
So we gather a lot of people.
Françoise, where is this? Où est-ce que c'est?
À Agadir, au Maroc. Au Maroc, in Morocco.
Maroc, mais where? Where in Maroc?
Agadir. This one is in Agadir, donc, où je vis.
Okay.
Ici, c'est beaucoup de different workshops. Here is in Casablanca. Here is in Agadir also, Essaouira. So all that people are coming to learn more about yoga with Rai, of course. And so they are very, very interested. You see, there is a lot of people. Some other here. It's in Fez, for example. We did also the Sufi festival music in Fez. So we gather some people to combine yoga and Sufism. And here we did a.
Can you tell us a little more about this combination of yoga and Sufism? Because I know that you also traveled to, to Turkey. So
yes.
If you'd like to just take us a little bit on that journey as well.
Yes, I am not an expert in Sufism, but you can, when you study, you can see, when you study different philosophy, or we cannot say religion, because Sufism is not a religion, you can see that the essence of everything is the same. Just the dogma after is, okay, you give Muslim religion or Catholicism, but at the base, you can see the root is the same. So in Sufism, we can see a lot of things that we can also find in yoga philosophy. And yes, all is about love in Sufism, and all is about putting the mind on a side and just express love, the divine love, of course, because when you chant the dik, there is something happen. It's like when you chant mantra, it's the same. You repeat, and there is one point of the mind is not there anymore, and you can just merge with the divine. So this is the Sufism as I know, but because I am not a Sufi. So
Raiji,
here,
just Raiji, is there something you would like to add? You're muted, Raiji. You're muted.
Okay, I just want to say it was so fascinating for me, this connecting. Fez is the spiritual heart of Morocco. And there the people are highly educated, and every corner you turn there's a library, especially for children. And we went to this festival, and when I saw what they were doing, it just reminded me of Bhakti Yoga and Kirtan, connecting to God through music, just allowing emotion to melt you into bhakti and just become one with whatever. Here, of course, there is no form, but you could just feel it. And then when this is in Konya, where we are in Konya, and that lady there is the 22nd generation great granddaughter of Rumi himself, Esin Chalabi. So she invited us to, we just walked in and we introduced ourselves. And she's traveled in India. She knows, she's got Sufi centers in India. And we got into a conversation with her, and she was so kind enough to have a special meditation set up for us in her little office room. And then when we got talking to the elders there, you know, of course, I couldn't understand Turkish, though she was kind of translating. What struck me was they had a very strong idea of the chakras, like we have the 7 chakras. They talk about the 7 steps to heaven, the evolution of consciousness from the first step when it merges into the what we call Sahasrara. Okay, so there was a lot of familiarity with their thinking, and also because it was so bhakti, the people there are, there is no rigidity in them. They're so open, so relaxed, so warm, so welcoming, you know, sab kuch chalta hai. So that way it reminded me a lot of India, that yeah, sab aa jao, vasudhaiva kutumbaka, chalo, everybody is a family member. So that, you know, really blew my mind, because I did not expect that. Like the belief system that I carried in my head, it didn't prepare me for this. So I would really encourage everybody to travel to these places and experience for themselves the truth that at the end of it, everything has such a deep unifying element. And some of the women who had come for the classes, like I told you, hijab, they would tell me, this particular class you took, the asanas that you did, a lot of it we do in our namaz. The breathing that you do, we do it there. So that was a revelation for me. And it was a revelation for them. It's part of yoga, the learning also. So the trip to Morocco, the many trips there, and to Turkey, brought out the unifying force more than the divisive force that we are made to see all the time. So it was very beautiful. It was very, very, and talking to Esin Shalabi was quite a eye-opening experience. It was wonderful. Françoise and I had a great, wonderful time in Konya. That's a place where Rumi is interred. His tomb is there, and we had a great meditation in his tomb. So it was wonderful. It was just wonderful.
Françoise, if you'd like to show us the pictures, earlier pictures also, because I think you skipped a few.
This is the argan tree which is being preserved.
This is the argan tree, yes.
It's beautiful.
Under the argan tree in a very special place also. J'arrive plus. Ah, voilà. So this is the land when we begin.
This is how the land was, Francoise,
yes.
Anuradha, those who are listening.
For the puja.
Barren.
So this is right, minding what they say to you. Whoa, that land. But, and so we work a lot on the land. I show you a little. So this is a process. We did organic farming with permaculture. So it's very important in permaculture to live with the elements around. So we take care of the soil, we take care of the human, and we share all that we have after the process. So we prepare the soil a lot. And so this was before, and now after. So
how many years?
3 years and half. We begin 3 years and half to cultivate.
Yes,
we have the land for a little more, but
yes,
we
please
begin
show the produce, Françoise. Show your shala.
Yes. No, I would also like to share that. I think it's important also, like this working with the earth. It teaches us certain lessons that we can also apply in the yoga context. Like one, for example, that it takes time.
Yeah.
Not in today's world where everything is, the snap of your fingers. Life is not like that. You have to cultivate. You have to let the seasons be right. You have to plant at the right time. You have to water it. You have to nourish it. And then, so very much tied in with the Yoga Sutra concept of Abhyasa in a sense, where it is Deepakala, long time, Nairantarya, continuous, Satkara Sevita, because you don't even know whether it will grow or not.
Yes.
You have to keep doing it. and with a
Yes.
lot of love and goodwill, and then finally the vairagya at the end of course,
Yes.
saving the Drida Bhumi, and then the vairagya where you have to just do it and let the earth also take her decisions.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not that every seed will grow. It's not that everything that
No,
so
no, no,
that
no, no.
vairagya I think is very important in this
Yes.
kind of a
And
work. So you
in that work, first you have to observe. You have to sit in your land and just listen, observe, look at the wind, look at the sun, look at the water. Everything is important because before you take your garden in order, you have to put the orientation to give you the best chance to have some result. So we did all that. Also for building the shala, we use a little of vastu just to put the thing in order also for the energy. So I ask Rai a little and I search and just we make sense in it. The water in some point, the fire in the south. So just some little things. So we try also so in permaculture, we don't waste anything. So we try to take care of everything. So a lot of plastic, of course, in Morocco, like in India. So we try to do something with the plastic. We build a nursery for our. You see, it's only plastic bottle and bamboo. And because we have to first begin the plantation in a nursery, so we did that. So this was the beginning. Really, the shala was not totally built, and some banana tree. Now we have a big banana forest with that small. So this is a plant. This is a shala when it's over. So we also use only wood. Even the painting inside, we take organic painting. Everything is yes, for the health. We cannot do something on the side and on the other side put acrylic paint or something like that. So we all do organic inside. This is the inauguration
Opening.
in English, opening. Yes, so
Opening.
Rai was
Yeah.
there, of course, for the moment, and this
That
is
is
my
Will,
husband and
her husband, yeah, who
yes,
is a silent support to her every time.
yes, all the time, yes.
Yeah.
And this is Patanjali, of course. We have Patanjali also, and when we were in Turkey, we buy a lot of beautiful painting like this. So we mix all the Ganga water, Lord water, as you said, and
Isn't
yes, because all is one for us. So we don't have to put only um, Patanjali or only yes. We mix everything. So right, talking to us. This is a shala now. So we are conducting a lot of things here. So this is during a yoga teacher training. We are also offering some painting on stones. So this is a yoga teacher also, but she's painting and offering some beautiful workshops. So in the garden, this is a planting seed in a pot to see how it's very easy to grow some. This one grow in 2 days. So everybody was planting, and 2 days after we were looking at the seeds. So this is a painting. We are also cultivating moringa tree. Because moringa is a very yes, it's especially for Rai for the drumsticks, but also to have our own moringa. So now we are okay. This is a vegetables we can have now after 6 months of the beginning of the gardening. We already have some vegetables, of course, but now we continue to have and to eat our food because it's very what is very I don't know in English gratifiant, huh? Mm,
satisfying?
Gratifying, yeah. Very
Gratified,
satisfying,
yes.
gratifying.
So you work hard, you put the seed in the soil, you wait for the growing, and when it's grow, one day you go in the garden and you say, yes, today what I have, what I eat, and you take in the garden, you come back home and cook, and it's really a great pleasure. It's not the same. The food has not the same savor. You are very happy to cook, and yes, it's really changed a lot of things when you grow your own vegetables and food. Yes.
It's very interesting because I think what the yoga philosophy teaches us is lived out by you through your experience with permaculture, growing these fruits. One idea that came to me as I was listening to you was this fact of karma, that every action will lead to a fruit, which we also
Yes.
call karma. So if
Yes.
you put in the right seeds,
Yes.
Yes.
then you will get the right fruits.
Yes.
If one doesn't do that, or if you just leave the ground bare, which is also a choice, which is also a karma,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it will again lead to no fruits. And
Yes.
then also the fact that in the Indian, and we've had so many experts talking to us over the festival, and I'd love to
Yes.
invite our participants to please go back and listen to a lot of talks on Ayurveda, on plant-based food, etc.,
Yes. Yes.
where they've
Yes.
talked to us about the fact of eating consciously, and how that uh, the different layers, the thought with which you plant, the thought with which you take the food, the thought with which you cook, all those dimensions help to add to the overall taste. You nourish yourself on many levels
Yes.
when you're working from the beginning, with the earth. So very beautiful, thank you. This is,
Yes.
Also, Anu, there's another thing is when she's working with the soil, if you really look at it, she's got the Panchabhutas, with her. In the sense, she's sitting barefooted on the soil, she's working with her hands. So there is that Annamaya Kosha's kind of a, work happening there. Then there is the water. So there is the element of water happening there. Then there's Agni through the sun, and then there is, of course, the beautiful air, the breeze that's blowing, and absolutely non-chemical. So, of course, filled with prana, and the whole thing, held together by the akasha, the etheric space. So, without even realizing it, we are getting grounded, we are getting grounded in our energy body, we are getting quieter, we are getting more that karuna and mudita aspect towards the earth, and because of that same thing being given to us by the earth, so that when we eat that food with that gratitude, there's something else happening inside than otherwise. And also in the similar way, the seven chakras, I'm sure when you work there, you stay there, you are breathing there, all right from the Mooladhara, the elements are working, and kind of all your fragmented energies have a chance to come together, so that you're in the space of yoga rather than doing yoga. I mean, you don't do yoga, you are in a space. So I think for me, the today you said it's Bastille Day, so there was a revolution that happened in France. I find this whole story of Francoise's journey is like a revolution in consciousness, that from just being a practice of yoga, coming to this space where she's understood that nourishment happens in different ways, and being ready with tapas, svadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana to get the whole yoga philosophy a living experience. So that is beautiful. That's wonderful.
So, yes. Yes. So this is how it is now from
That
nothing under,
yeah.
yes, in 3 years. So just to tell people that it's not difficult. Yes, you have to take a step. And when I begin to plant my own vegetable, it was on my balcony because I have no land. My husband gave me after, but so it was the first step. So everybody can begin on the balcony, some aromatic herbs, some tomatoes, everything is growing with love, no problem. If you take care, if you, yes, if you take care, the vegetable will give you a lot in return. Yes.
Yes. So I'm wondering, do you have any more photos? Or what we can do is we can possibly move on and take some questions from the
Yes.
audience.
Yes, we
And
can.
maybe as I look at the questions, you can show us some more pictures, anything that's beautiful at night.
Yes.
It must be very, very beautiful on a moonlit night, on a full moon night.
And it was the real color of the sky. Yes. We
Uh,
have beautiful sunset here.
and moonrise. When I first time came to Morocco, it was on a full Purnami day, and the
Yeah.
very day we went and did a beautiful moon meditation on the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. It was just beautiful. The energy there was just lovely, soft and
Yes,
absolutely.
I think again it's this one of the things that we try through this festival is really to give us all a taste, a very first-hand taste, because we have people talking to us about different philosophies, the philosophical aspects of yoga, and but when one actually sees things, and also in different parts of the world, how people are allowing the spirit of yoga to fill their lives and to literally spread out then into their communities and inspire new people to connect with this particular way of living, and this
Yeah.
way of living which is really living in harmony. So I think very beautifully we see how if one really enters into the spirit of yoga, I think the first thing that it requires is for us to connect to this harmony within.
Yes.
And the moment we are finding that harmony within, we cannot but find that love without. And you connect. And if that is not happening, then we know that we are not on the way. There is something that is not right. So I think, Françoise, thank you very much. This is so beautiful. What I'll do is as you show us some more pictures, I'll also invite the audience to share their questions.
I have no more pictures.
There's been a lot of positive messages from the participants. So Shefali ji says, I wish I knew when Rahi ji came here, and wow, no, that's about me. She's impressed with the French, but thanks for the support. And then Stacey Morris ji wants to know a little bit about your retreat, the Kalananda, and we can possibly share that after we come back from the sharing of the posters. Anjan Nandiji says, in attending this evening session, what we understand is that this global festival of yoga really, that yoga is integrated in our culture. It's also now in global concept of living. Love to get showered of world wisdom through yoga and the earth since one. Deborah Huberji says, an interesting journey and close to my heart as my journey with yoga and Vandana Shivaji was so entwined. And now I go deeper through the teachings of Indica. I understand this and feel very happy to see the permaculture, the seed, and what a marvelous journey it has been here in the Himalayas for her and for you in Morocco. And we have Shefali Kongji who's saying that thank you both, Rahiji and Françoise ji, for your narratives and sharing your experience. Beautiful exchange and intermingling of two different cultures. One can see the happy faces reflecting the joy of experiencing a foreign culture. So I think we've had a conversation, but a conversation that has, I hope, given our audience a feel of this underlying connect that yoga brings. Um, Connect with ourselves, connect with different cultures, connecting with the earth. So maybe what we can do is, do you have anything that you would like to add with any more pictures here?
I have no more pictures. Um,
Anu, if I may come in, I just want to say
Please.
something, especially to the Indian audience here. The people of Morocco are crazy about Bollywood, okay? So wherever you go, either they are singing songs or whatever. And if by chance you go with the sari to a market, it's not surprising to find people holding flowers and giving to you and saying "Je t'aime." Okay, they could be 80, they could be
That means I like you, I love you, like
yeah,
that.
I love you. They could be 80. I had somebody 80 and 8 years old coming and giving rose. And they all are into Indian dances, mostly Bollywood dance. And they take pleasure in coming and showing you little clippings of what they have done as dancers.
So
And the
sweet.
first thing they will ask you is, do you know Shahrukh? Do you know Aishwarya Rai? And have you had tea with them? Have you had coffee with them? What I found was this ability to just come and share whatever they feel. Whatever they are outside is what they are inside. Very natural, very childlike. So, very beautiful to connect to that energy in Morocco. I'm talking about the local people and the women. The women, they are very traditional. I'm talking about the village women, especially where Francoise stays, but there is a strength in them that you can feel. It's like a matriarch holding everything together. And they are ready to be empowered, they're ready to be independent, but not at the cost of their culture and their belief. So that I found it very, very beautiful. So if ever we want, as an Indian, to have our energy booster, just wear a sari or walk into the markets of Morocco. The compliments that will be showered on you, you can't but glow.
Françoise, so I was just wondering, I said, they knew us for Bollywood, and hopefully down the line, like they say, inshallah, down the line, they will also come to us because of the yoga teachings that India has been, that India has held and shared with the world very generously.
Yeah,
So,
maybe Françoise can tell us about the way the yoga understanding
community has grown. That would
formed
be
the
wonderful. Yes.
community in
Françoise, can you
Françoise.
just share with us about the growth of, because they say in French, you have the pouce vert, means you have the green fingers. So as we can see that you have the green fingers and you've worked wonders on the soil, but I think on the yoga soil you have the green fingers. So how has your bringing yoga into Morocco really boomed and blossomed today?
Yes, I don't brought the yoga alone. But I also, in the West, since the 10 in last year, yoga has a lot. There is a boom on yoga. The only problem is, for me, it's not real yoga. There is also there is only asanas, a little of pranayama. Sometimes you can ask a yoga teacher, do you do pranayama? Pranayama, what is pranayama? So it's very, very physical. And it's the reason why we need you. To teach us the real yoga. What is yoga really? What yoga is not only for the physical body. It's very much more, and it's that we want to teach. So yes, no. For example, I will not do any other yoga teacher training for the two next year. I just want to improve the knowledge of the people who are already teacher but who don't know a lot about yoga philosophy. So I need your help also for that. So we will not end. And yes, because it's very important. And India has a lot of solution for us. So you have to share. You have the knowledge, you have the comprehension, you have the facility to teach us. So please come to Morocco. Or if we cannot travel now, we can just do on two-way conferencing or Zoom or I don't know. But yes, it's very important to grow yoga, but in the good sense, not just physical yoga, doing beautiful asanas to put on Instagram. It's not yoga, yes? So my hope is to enrich people here with the philosophy of yoga, what yoga is able to do in your mind, changing your the mess you have in your mind and living peacefully.
Do you have an organization, Francoise? Do you have any kind of a Moroccan organization of yoga?
Sorry, can I just request Françoise to stop the sharing if you finish with the photos? That way we get the full screen with,
Oh yes,
with us as
sorry.
we close. Not at all.
Hop là. Où est-ce que je suis?
I'll also possibly just share a comment. Okay.
Voilà. Okay. Yes. Sorry, Rai, I was on the.
Now, do you have an organization of yoga in Morocco? I mean, is there a gathering or like Yoga Morocco something?
No, we just do here in Agadir association The teacher.
Yeah.
Yes, we are not very we are not doing a lot of things since the corona is coming. Yes, shut down a lot of things. Just now we are just coming out, but there is no big organization. 2 years ago, there is a first festival of yoga in Marrakesh. So gathering all the teacher and very successful. Unfortunately, we don't have it last year and this year. So yes.
So there is a momentum happening where teachers are getting together.
Yes.
Exchanging. Maybe that's how it will grow into something bigger.
Yes. Yeah? But we have to organize a little more on that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's not really organized.
So what we'll do is I'll just read out 2 more comments and then I'll make the announcements for tomorrow's program.
Yes.
And then I'll come back to you for your contact details, because just now we have another question by Preeti Mojiji, who's saying, I'm in New York. Where and how can I connect to yoga organizations with Indian origin? So there is a lot of thirst to know where to connect to authentic learning centers. I think that is important. And Françoise, like I agree with you that Instagram is not yoga only, but I think it's a good entry. We've met ever so many people who've started out with the physical part of it, because that was the easiest thing to connect with.
Yes.
Talking to the body, you don't have to change any beliefs and all. So start with at least making the body feel at peace, and then you see that when I'm disturbed and I'm doing these stretches, I'm doing these postures, suddenly my mind is opening up, and then then my breath is regulated, and then that journey that started off in the Instagram leads to deeper, leads to the source of the Ganga, as we would say. So I think yoga, I also think that that the word yoga and the energy of yoga is much greater than any of us, and it's that energy that seems to be moving things. It's the energy, and she's finding her own avenues, she's finding her expressions, and the one who is touched by her spirit feels the call to let that blossom as well. So I think it's very beautiful what is happening. There are aberrations, but it's another way possibly of coming back. There'll be dead ends and then you come back. So I think there's just this diversity, and because Shiva, when Parvati once asked Shiva, how many yoga postures or how many ways are there of reaching you or finding the Lord? He says, as many people there are on earth, that many paths there are. The important thing is to make the start.
Yes.
And so I think that is very beautiful. So what we'll do is, Preeti ji and all the others who'd like to, find sources, please reach out to all these teachers we have, because they have their networks.
Yes.
And that's one thing that we feel very happy to be doing at the festival, is to help expand this network, this family of Indica Yoga, so that we can touch the authentic, immersive and transformative teachings across the globe.
Yes.
Okay.
This is important.
Yes. So what I'll do is I'll make the announcements for tomorrow's sessions, and then we'll come back to you for your contact details. If you'd like to put them on the chat box in the meanwhile with the panelists and attendees, you can do that, and we'll come back to you for your message as well. Astu. So, merci. Yeah. Kotichi, could I request you to please show tomorrow's program? So we have wonderful sessions coming up tomorrow as well. In the morning, we have a session by Nilima Bhattji and Vijay Bhattji. Nilima ji is a yoga teacher, organic gardener as well. So we see the theme continuing. Vijay Bhattji is the founder of Cancer Awakens. And they're going to be talking to us on healing from cancer, the role of integral yoga. Vijayji had his own experience with cancer, and it's his journey with the yoga that has helped him heal. So coming back to healing, coming back to growth within and without. So this will be a very beautiful session. Nilima ji works with women across the world, bringing Shakti and empowerment through the philosophy of yoga. So please join us for the morning session. In the evening session, we have another wonderful speaker come Bhakti Acharya Mangalananda, who will be talking to us and taking us through a practice session on kirtans. So he'll be talking to us on healing through devotion. He is a very close disciple of Anandamayi Ma, and he will be in conversation with Hannah Bowers, a very dear friend who has one of the close members of GPIW, which is a collaborator for this program. So Acharya ji is Ma Sharan. He has established Ma Sharanam ashrams in India and USA. So please stay with us, and we will try and bring you. We have a few days left for the festival. We'll try and keep enriching your days with wonderful exposures and interactions. So coming back to the two of you, Rahiji, would you like to first start by sharing your contact details if you've already put them there? So your contact details as well as Françoise.
So mine would be my email ID, rahi.santhanam@gmail.com.
At gmail.com, yes.
And then there's a Facebook, and then there is an Instagram, Yoga Rahi. Okay, that's the handle. So Françoise can put up her, I think she's got a.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
I put in the last picture my details, sorry.
No problem, no problem.
Yes.
So like I said, there were some comments that I thought were worth reading out. We have somebody whose name I don't know exactly, who's saying that it's somebody with a computer Acer who's saying it's an eye opener for us. After listening to the conversations, I feel that I'm like the frog in the well. The more we come out and explore, we shatter our preconceived mind. Thank you all for the beautiful program. And we have Stacey Morris who's saying magical and inspiring. Thank you for the wisdom on food, cultivating it, appreciating it, and being truly nourished by it. And we have again Padmini Natarajanji who's saying, this session has been a wonderful exploration of a culture that strangely entered my consciousness as leather binding of books. What a leap of faith it has been. Merci beaucoup. J'aime votre parler. She says, but my French. Bless you, François and Rahi and Anu also. Thanksgiving and a lot of gratitude from Anjan Nandiji. So that's Françoise's contact details. Please take notes. I'll come back to you, okay? So you can stop sharing. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, and if you'd like to please leave us with a message. So I'll let Françoise start with a message, and maybe you can tell us the message in English and in French.
In English and in French, yes.
Oui, s'il te plaît.
So, je voudrais vous inviter à cultiver votre santé physique, mentale, spirituelle, et dans l'espoir de construire un monde meilleur. Surtout en ce moment, on a vraiment besoin de notre santé, d'augmenter nos défenses immunitaires. Et donc, c'est le yoga qui va nous permettre de faire ça, et aussi la façon dont on va se nourrir, bien sûr. Et puis, je vous invite aussi à honorer la Terre, à honorer ses habitants, quelles que soient nos différences géographiques, culturelles. Nous sommes tous un. Et namaste. So, you want in English or you want to translate?
No, you talk. Tell it in English. This message comes straight from the heart, so it's very difficult to translate that.
So I offered you to cultivate your health, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and in order to build a better world around, because you need that in that moment, especially in that moment. And also I invite you to honor the earth and all the living human beings on the earth. And there is no difference between us, no difference, only difference of space and place, but we are all one. So thank you. Namaste.
Merci beaucoup. Om. Yes. Raiji?
What can I say? Françoise has said it all. It's just that, like you said, Anu, the entry point may be through the physical asana body, but I would really request everybody to dig deep, go deeper, and make yoga a holistic lifestyle. Like Françoise has done, started from the body and she's ended with the body, but at a completely different level altogether. So if that could be the journey, it would be wonderful, because when you go more and more into this kind of a movement away from the Annamaya Kosha into the energy body, suddenly you realize that, you know, everybody at the end of it is just as one heart beating together, wanting the same thing, Ananda. So, on that note, thank you so much. And thanks, Indica Yoga, for bringing some wonderful speakers. I mean, I've been following you last year, this year, and you've enriched my knowledge and my understanding of yoga. And blessings on the path. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your blessings and warm wishes. I'd just like to inform our audience again that if you've missed any sessions, you can find them on indicayoga.com or on the Indica Yoga YouTube channels as well as on the Facebook page. So please feel free to catch up. Please feel free to share this. We try and make this available for everybody because the more who are connected to the spirit, the merrier it will be for all of us on earth. So thank you very much and see you again tomorrow. Stay tuned. Merci beaucoup.